Okay, good morning to you all. This is another broadcast from Jon Rognerud, founder of chaosmap.com. I say good morning because it is 9 in the morning here. Typically I do these later in the day, but today's broadcast is going to be all about kind of a technical aspect of online business. What are some of the tools that we use behind the scenes? Yesterday we talked about, essentially productivity tools and, sort of insider tool sets that we use at the organization, at our firm, in terms of tracking, analyzing, researching. We talked about keywords, we talked about links, we talked about content, and I also mentioned, very importantly, repeat that again today, that tools is just a means to an end. So if you get sucked into the Google or to the shiny object syndrome, then take a step back from that. A good strategy will always win over a cool little tool on the marketplace, and so combining it, however, is a very smart way to go about it. In fact, that is what really is going to propel you forward. We know that, of course, also tools are complementary to anything that you do in terms of manual work, right? There's nothing like researching keywords by actually going out to Google, typing them into the Google search engine, and taking a look what the results yield from that type of research. But again, it's a sort of holistic view into our world this week in terms of what we use as tool sets. Also what we consider to be important for, productivity. And today's broadcast is all about Google Chrome extensions or plugins. There's a huge marketplace there, and it is certainly something that has enhanced our work and really can help you as well. So that's why I wanted to share this today. And what you're looking at here, if you're tuning in live or if you're looking at our YouTube broadcast as well, you're seeing one of the tools we're going to talk about today, builtwith.com. And you're looking at chaosmap.com, our website at the agency. And I just wanted to start off with this because I'm going to dive into the presentation here in a second, guys and gals. But I just wanted to show you this. Very, very cool, right? Have you ever wondered, what are some of the back-end platforms and also tool sets that your clients or your competitors are using that perhaps they are an edge ahead of you or a couple of laps ahead of you in terms of their own productivity? Well, you can take a look at this. I'm just going to scroll down here, and for you all listening to my presentation on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, thank you for listening to the podcast. But what I'm basically showing here is builtwith.com, and I'm extracting essentially elements from the website or from the domain where you can actually look at what are we using internally for analytics and tracking. We see Clicky. We see Google Analytics. I'm scrolling down. We see Google conversion tracking. We see Facebook conversion tracking. We also use Drift, WP Rocket, WordPress, plugins. You can see more information here. Google Tag Manager. We use SumoMe, Thrive Themes, Buffer, Pinterest, WooCommerce. We have actually a shopping area. And I'm just continuing to scroll down here. There's a lot of information, Stripe, YouTube, etc. Facebook for websites already mentioned, LinkedIn, a lot of information here. Well, why is this important to look at for you? As I mentioned just a minute ago, this is really great to do research out in the marketplace to see what others are doing, also what kind of tool sets they are leveraging that you may consider. Also, it really allows you to sort of sneak up on your competitors a little bit, spy on them to find out what strategies they're using. One of the things you see on here is Taboola. This is a pixel for native advertising audience building, right? Well, we actually are building that audience for Taboola for native advertising as well. We have clients that actually have requested native advertising, and we started doing this a lot more last year, and we've scaled up this year. for Taboola and Outbrain also, which is, of course, a way to present your wares, if you will, on the very expansive web. We actually wrote an article on this, which you can find on chaosmap.com if you're interested in native advertising. But I digress. I wanted to make today's presentation about Google Chrome extensions or plugins. And so I'm going to dive into the presentation right here, right now. And by the way, if you have any questions, feel free to comment, like, share. Essentially social media is, of course, a powerful way for us to get the information out there. But there's nothing like getting comments and feedback to the work that I do and that we push out there. And also, we love the audience building in terms of creating a community. And so if you're watching this live on Facebook right now, feel free to submit your questions and I'll be sure to get to those. So without further ado, let's dig into the Chrome plugins presentation here today. And by the way, this is a continuation of yesterday's broadcast. I talked about a presentation I made end of last year, up in Las Vegas for 200 Amazon sellers, basically folks who wanted more traffic to their websites. I'll be continuing this series to show you additional strategies for driving traffic, but I just wanted to start out with some of these tool sets and Chrome plugins here today, because interestingly enough, from that presentation, I got a great feedback on how some of these tools can improve your productivity, but also how they can leverage strategies that can take you to the next level in your business. Because we know, as I talked about yesterday, information is only part of the puzzle. You ultimately want transformation in your business, and that's my aim here for you today. And let's dig in. Chrome plugins. So this was, as I said, very centered around Amazon and e-commerce. But I'm going to do a combination of things here for the Chrome plugins. But you will see and hear me talk about Amazon. In fact, we're going to kick it off with the Amazon FBA keyword tool plus product research. It's from Helium 10. I mentioned that yesterday in the broadcast. Fantastic tool. And by the way, if you don't know what Chrome plugins are or Chrome extensions, clearly go to Google, type that in. Most do know what these are, but they are part of the Chrome store, right? It's basically a shopping area, if you will, for these free and sometimes paid plugins, but you can install them straight from there. And sometimes you'll have to reset your Chrome plugin by exiting and reloading the Chrome browser, rather, I should say. But most of the time, it's very seamless. And once you click on any of these plugins, it'll install into your browser, and you can immediately start using it. It is a fantastic idea for you to be using these in your business. So number one here, Amazon FBA keyword tool from Helium 10, very powerful. Next one here, Google similar page. So if you're browsing around and you want to see similar pages and get relationships established for your research, Google similar pages is a great, or similar page is really the term. Go ahead and install that Chrome extension as well. We use that quite a bit. Again, for e-commerce, Oberlo AliExpress product importer. This ties in with the Oberlo plugin, as I mentioned yesterday, for e-commerce, and great for drop shipping with AliExpress. Drop shipping, of course, having changed quite a bit in the last few years, but still very valid in terms of you setting up, for instance, a Shopify store and using AliExpress as a drop shipper, where you can get reduced rates for your products and essentially profit between the actual price out to your customer and what you get from, ultimately this is China I'm talking about, right? AliExpress has done a great job. It's a huge company. I think they're part of Alibaba now. But ultimately, Oberlo AliExpress product importer, fantastic Chrome extension to enhance that work. DS Amazon Quick View is a way for you to look at Amazon listings with enhanced features and details. And Helium 10 also has a great extension for that as well. AliExpress Seller Check. In fact, anything AliExpress you want to take a look at. Keeping in mind, though, as you load up these extensions, things can get busy at the top of the browser there in the bar. Also, memory, right? All of these things suck memory. You may find that as you load these up, your other daily work in terms of browsing and cruising the web may not get slower per se, but you may find that as you load up tabs and install these plugins, the Chrome browser just freezes. Well, welcome to, basically, you got to manage this. That's what it's all about. So don't just keep installing these and think that your productivity will be enhanced, because ultimately your browser could freeze, right? So be cool with that. SimilarWeb, fantastic tool as well. Kind of similar to Google Similar Page, but definitely install that plugin. Ghostery Privacy Ad Blocker. This is a great tool for managing basically behind-the-scenes scripts, but also privacy management. So Ghostery is a great tool. By the way, if you are in the sort of scouting of tools and products that you might consider to buy, the Chrome extensions and the Chrome store provides a lot of opportunities perhaps for you as an investor to go out and find companies where these power tools perhaps are not being updated as frequently as possible, or as often as you'd like to see. There might be an opportunity for you to buy that, right? So look at that as well, perhaps if you're an investor. Tag Assistant for Google, must have all of the above. Very powerful for tracking anything and any issues with Google Analytics. Next one here, Google Analytics Debugger, actually in concert with that, need to install that. Facebook Pixel Helper, you must have that installed, of course, to make sure that all the pixels are firing correctly, all the events, etc. TubeBuddy for YouTube, definitely install TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy. It will, similarly to some of the Helium 10 tools, will show you details around your YouTube pages and also competitors. One of the great features of TubeBuddy is the ability to look at tags for optimization for SEO. What are other people using that you can model? Not necessarily copy, but that you can model from. We use this all the time, and it really works fast. In fact, some of these broadcasts that I'm pushing out here goes out to YouTube, as I mentioned, and I can tag them and optimize them pretty quickly. And really within 30 minutes, some of these broadcasts that I'm pushing out will be, on the first page of YouTube. So very cool. Workflowy.com or Workflowy, a fantastic plugin. It's an outliner. I use it all the time, especially great for just taking notes to kind of develop your thoughts for the day. I mentioned Evernote yesterday as well. But Workflowy has a different approach, and it's a very simple tool. The simplicity of this tool is not to be understated. For SEO, we like Mozbar, Mozbar, from the Moz Corporation. And of course, once we start talking about pixels and tracking events to pages based on, funnels, etc., the wasp.inspector is a must install and must use. Kind of technical here, some of these things, but the level of detail that you can get to here and understanding is uncanny. LastPass.com, right? LastPass, managing all your passwords in one place, so you don't have to, think about, what was the last password? Where is it stored? What's also very cool about LastPass is the ability for you to, as an organization, have all your passwords, usernames, etc. in a central place, but inviting team members and vendors and, an agency to come in and log into your world without worrying about, passwords. You'll just basically give them access to what you need there and off and running. Honey coupon codes, great for e-commerce. Commerce Inspector, another one, great for e-commerce. I talked about the Built With Technology Profiler. That's what we started out with. Buffer and CoSchedule, talked about those yesterday as far as tools, but they also have plugins. And another one that we use all the time, and we will actually show this to clients. We have basically a 20-minute free strategy session available. And when we talk about SEO, we can actually go in live and share screens and show results in terms of keywords, expectations for traffic and cost. And Keywords Everywhere for Chrome is a fantastic tool. In fact, I get questions on this. What is that? What are these data elements that are showing up on the screen as you're typing? Well, it's Keywords Everywhere. You just log in and get an API connection, and you're off and running for getting keyword data right there in the search results in Google. And by the way, talked about forgot to mention this, but I forgot about this because I get so excited about these tools. But we have a 15-minute, 20-minute strategy session available for you if you go to chaosmap.com/talk. chaosmap.com/talk. We can certainly talk about some of these things, but also share, what are the tools that you may be needing to use for your world at this moment. Plus, of course, as I said from the top, these tools is just one part of the equation. Much more important is to understand and recognize that you have a strategy that builds towards a goal and a certain series of steps to get there, right? So we can talk about that as well, chaosmap.com/talk. But here we are sort of diving into the weeds a little bit. We're basically trying to get a sense for productivity enhancement tools in this last couple of broadcasts. And today we're talking about Chrome plugins. And the last one I mentioned was Keywords Everywhere for Chrome. I am going to go a little bit deeper here because when we talk about these funnels, these Chrome plugins, we are often discussing funnels and pages, right? So this next area, I'm going to go kind of quick on this, but I want to talk about funnels. Funnels is just we know what a funnel is, right? But a funnel is just a fancy name for landing page series, a series of steps through pages that represent information that draws your potential customer closer to, the next step in the series, essentially. And when we do this, we talk about tools. We talk about ways to get there easily. We talk about, a simple sort of series of steps that you can make to create content that supports your end goal. And so these tools here, we use them all the time, and I'm just going to go through them because I think this will help you. If you have a solid strategy built out and you have done your research and analysis through the broadcast from yesterday, using some of these tools from today to sort of extend that in the Chrome browser, and then looking at these tools like Optimize Press is the first one on the list. I have a star next to the ones that we like to use, and we use it actually all the time. Optimize Press kind of backed off of that a little bit, but ClickFunnels, of course, a favorite out in the marketplace. Done extremely well for the founder, Russell Brunson there. So ClickFunnels is number 2. Builderall, a very interesting product. We haven't used it, but there are some powerful tool sets inside Builderall. Lead Pages, we use it all the time. Lead Pages is fast and easy, comes with templates, has a drag and drop as well. And we actually use this as a subdomain account for clients to ramp them up with landing pages in a series of steps through this funnel mechanism that I talked about. Instapage.com, Unbounce.com. Unbounce is a powerful tool, a little more expensive than some of these other ones, but it is really preferred by a lot of the marketers out there and non-techies because, frankly, it has probably the most feature-rich set of abilities in terms of creating landing pages and building out steps in a funnel. The thrivethemes.com, we actually use that at chaosmap.com. Very simple to use, comes with a lot of landing pages, and I think that if you are running WordPress and you're trying to build out content for your own media, right? Your own owned media, if that's even a word there, you should use something like Thrive Themes. One of the questions that we get often is, when I use all these tools, what ultimately am I building in terms of ownership? Well, just like anything, you are on rented land, for ClickFunnels and, Unbounce, etc. If they ever change the way that they run things or they simply close shop, you are deserted. You are stranded. With Thrive Themes and WordPress, you own that in your own hosting environment. That is a consideration. You may forfeit some of these easy steps through, like, say, ClickFunnels and banging out a funnel very fast, designing pages, copy, content, all of that. If anything ever changes there, they're not going to come back and say, I'm sorry, here's all your content. They're just going to shut down, and that's the end of it. So consider all of these as you start to build out. But if you are brand new in business or trying to ramp up, there's nothing like a ClickFunnels or an Unbounce to get you going quickly. So just sort of thinking short-term and long-term about these strategies here. So then the next one in the presentation here is we start to talk about graphics, etc. But I'm not going to cover that here today. We're going to make this another presentation because I realize I put a lot of information out here for you right now. So I just want to thank you for joining today's session. This is broadcast out to YouTube. You might want to check that out. Just search for my name and chaosmap out on YouTube, as well as going to chaosmap.com. If you have any more questions, there's a big old red button on the homepage there. You can check out a recent case study that we did for a cool event for a client here in California. And also, if you have any direct questions you want to touch base with myself or one of the team members, just go to chaosmap.com/talk. Set up an appointment. We can jump on there and just trying to help you out. So anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this today. Love making these for you. And we'll see you out in the internet webs. Have a guy.